A couple of record-breaking performances at Saratoga. First of all, Johnny Velasquez topped Jerry Bailey's record with 61 wins. And part of that reason is because Velasquez regularly rode for Todd Pletcher, the guy on the bottom there, who finished the Saratoga meet with 35 wins. Bill Mott set that record in a 36-day meet, but Pletcher was also a record-breaking trainer at the Belmont meet before Saratoga. Now let's go back to the quarter horses. Ruidoso Downs Monday, the All-American Futurity, also a couple of other big quarter horse races run over this past weekend, including the All-American Derby on Friday, worth nearly $700,000. Meteoric, third in last year's All-American Futurity. He was a big favorite here. Could he get redemption a year later?
There, off and running. Southern Cartel on the outside. Talk about me, oh my. And now Storybook Lover moves up in between horses. Also right there, it's no big deal. And the beat goes on, is putting in a rally on the inside. Now and the beat goes on, moves up. Snow Big Deal is right there. Talk about me, oh my, and Storybook Lover. It's wide open in between horses. Snow Big Deal, and Snow Big Deal has won the All-American Derby.
Meteoric acted like a brat. He dumped G.R. Carter on the track before the race, and that was his highlight. He finished a disappointing sixth. Meanwhile, the story of the day, trainer Dwayne Sleepy Gilbreth, who saddled 4 in the race, including the winner's Snow Big Deal, a track record setter. Gilbreth's horses finished 1st, 3rd, 4th, and 9th in the All-American Derby. All 10 starters, remember, get a check. The All-American Juvenile was on the All-American Futurity undercard. The field is built with the 10 fastest horses that just missed qualifying for the All-American Futurity.
They're off and running. A Regal Choice broke well and goes for the lead. Dreamer's Oki is right there. Here comes the A-list through all alone in the middle. Cognac Kid is getting into it also. A Delightful Legacy is there as well. A Regal Choice just on top. A Delightful Legacy is flying up on the inside. And a Delightful Legacy and Joe Badia going on to win the All-American Juvenile.
A stumble in the trial kept a Delightful Legacy, trained by John Bassett, out of the Futurity final, but a slight stumble here. It didn't keep her out of the winner's circle in the $153,000 All-American Juvenile. The same connections won the All-American Futurity 4 years ago with a Delightful Dasher. I think we've kept you in suspense long enough. It's time for the All-American Futurity. The fastest qualifier, latest version, was a scratch. He's got shin problems that'll leave time off. His entry mate, Planet Holland, the 9-5 favorite.
They're off and running in the All-American Futurity. And Six's Royal came out well, but now there goes Bye Bye JJ, and Bye Bye JJ takes the early lead. Dash and Kirk is moving up. Dash of Perry is also right there. Fast Moving Snow is moving up along the inside. It's wide open. Bye Bye JJ. Dash of Perry. Fast Moving Snow. Bye Bye JJ has won it. And Bye Bye JJ and JJ Gonzalez has won the All-American Futurity just ahead of Dash of Perry.
Planet Holland stumbled at the start, costing him all chance, but that created an opportunity for Bye Bye JJ, a gelding by JJ Shotglass, a homebred for Rosella Prieto. It was a wild winner circle. Somewhere in there, Governor Bill Richardson for the state of New Mexico. And meanwhile, jockey JJ Gonzalez made the right choice, and Bye Bye JJ.
He was trouble to load in the gates. We got in there. He was really good. There was some action went down on the inside. They kicked it, and we was gone. I never seen no one for the last 45 yards. You know, I gave him light urging, and he came on really strong. He ran a big race.
Since I was born, I remember coming to the All-American, my dad saying, one day we're gonna win the All-American. Today's the day. So it's just wonderful. What can I say?
Gonzalez qualified 3 head for the final and made the right choice. For more information on American Quarter Horse Racing, 1-800-414-RIDE. Now for some of our big thoroughbred races coming up this weekend. Of course, the racing action in New York shifts from Saratoga to Belmont Park. And on Saturday the 6th alone, 3 Grade 1 races at Belmont. Beginning with the Woodward, of course, at 1 1/8, and that horse, Mine Shaft, who should be the heavy favorite in the Woodward. We've seen Candy ride, we've seen Medaglia d'Oro, we know how good Empire Maker is. Mine Shaft's pretty good himself, and this is him just galloping home to win the Suburban Handicap at Belmont Park in his last start. Among those expected to challenge Mine Shaft, Hold That Tiger from Europe, and this horse, Puzzlement, trained by Alan Jerkins, who burst through the inside in the Saratoga Breeders' Cup Handicap to defeat defending Breeders' Cup Classic winner Volponi. Then the Man of War, also run at 1 3/8 on the turf on Saturday. Balto Star won the UN Handicap in gritty wire-to-wire fashion. He came back and ran poorly in the Soar Dancer, but he's a better horse than that. Also pointing for the man of war is Denon, trained by Bobby Frankel, who ended his mini slump this past weekend at Saratoga and is back on grade 1 course. Denon won the Manhattan Handicap at Belmont Park in a bog. That was on the Belmont Stakes undercard. We know he's a good horse, but he was 4th last out with a wide post position in the Sword Dancer. In the Gazelle, Lady Tack, who was a most impressive winner of the Test Stakes, has been pointing for the Gazelle ever since. At 1 1/8 around 1 turn, trainer Steve Asmussen, let's say that right, is confident that Lady Tack will be able to get that 1 turn distance before she just galloped in the test. Also pointing for the Gazelle, Island Fashion, trained by Barkley Tagg, who spoiled Spoken Fur's attempt at the Triple Tiara bonus with that easy win in the Alabama Stakes. Then Sunday, another grade 1. This is the Garden City Breeders' Cup that's going to be run. 3-year-old fillies on the turf, and headlining that race, Dimitrova, who shipped over for Dermot Weld from Ireland to win the American Oaks at Hollywood Park in her most recent start. All kinds of grade 1 action coming up this weekend at Belmont Park, but also you've got some racing at Del Mar. On Saturday, the Grade 2 Del Mar Derby. Now, this is the last weekend of racing at Del Mar. Del Mar actually closes on Wednesday, but the Del Mar Derby Saturday, and on Sunday, the Palomar Breeders' Cup Handicap at Grade 2, also from the left coast. 2 races of the week, and a very impressive performance by that horse, Aldebaran, in the Forego. More on that coming up after this.
This ESPN2 presentation of Long John Silver's Wire to Wire is brought to you by Long John Silver's. Boatloads of seafood are back. Citgo, we know you. NTRA.com, the official site of the NTRA and the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships. Equibase.com, your official online source for racing information, from entries to results and everything in between. Equibase.com is a service of Equibase Company, the thoroughbred industry's official database.
After you've gassed up with Citgo, you can sit down with your boatload of seafood and watch next week's Wire to Wire, the first airing Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern as usual. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for, our Daily Double, our 2 races of the week, beginning Sunday with the Forego handicap at Saratoga, 7 furlongs, older sprinters. Aldebaran, the favorite, at odds of 8-5, trained by Bobby Frankel, ridden by Jerry Bailey. You know the rest. This is one of the most impressive performances by a sprinter this year.
Blazing the way into the far turn, chased by Mike's Classic. Sing Me Back Home is 3rd. My Cousin Matt has gone wide on the far turn, down on the inside. Gaija Star is running along in 4th. Then Proud Citizen, followed by My Cousin Matt. Aldebaran now beginning to hit that powerful stride of his. The half there by Najran was 44 1/5 seconds. He leads by a neck as they come to the top of the stretch. Mike's Classic has taken a run on him. Sing Me Back Home. Gaija Star will be floated wide. Aldebaran continues to close, and he's now 2nd with Najran to catch as they come down to the final furlong. Najran bracing for the challenge that comes from Aldebaran. Aldebaran sweeps past Najran. And then farther back, it's Gaija Star 3rd. They're coming down to the finish. And Aldebaran looked terrific today.
When Najran gives a peak effort, he's a good horse, and Aldebaran just ran by him at the 8th pole like he was standing still. Winning margin 4 3/4 lengths under Jerry Bailey. Aldebaran had already shown he was an excellent sprinter, but look at that Beyer speed figure. 122. That's Candy Ride territory. Aldebaran, of course, is being pointed for the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Last year, Bobby Frankel tried him in the Breeders' Cup Mile because he's kind of a tweener in distance. 7 furlongs to a mile is his best. The Breeders' Cup Sprint is at 6 furlongs, but he's hitting on all cylinders right now, so you might as well give him a chance at 3/4 of a mile. That's going to be the burning question this year in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Can Aldebaran shorten up to 6 furlongs and be as effective as you can see he is at 7 furlongs? But if you think back to the future betting, the second pool of the future betting for Breeders' Cup Sprint time that you saw earlier, Aldebaran is currently the betting favorite in the sprint. Monday, the Pennsylvania Derby at Philadelphia Park in sloppy conditions. The favorites, Dynaper and Tocket, are nowhere to be found.
Tocket has dropped back at the inside as Christina's Outlaw has now moved up a clear 3rd. It's Christina's Outlaw by 2. Randolph Ray is now in the clear and beginning to advance down inside. Dynamo is launching a bit on the extreme outside. Domestic Dispute is falling back. Ashmore trying to get into it. He's within 4 lengths of the lead. They went 3/4 in 1:10 and 4. And with 5/16 to go, it is Gimme a Wink. Gimme a Wink is opened up by 2. Max Forever has dropped out of it. Grand Ombre in a good striking spot. Christina's Outlaw is there on the outside. Dynamo is on the extreme outside, but they turn for home. They're going to have to come and get Gimme a Wink, and here comes Grand Ombre. Grand Ombre surging now just outside the eighth hole, and Grand Ombre just roars right by Gimme a Wink, and Grand Ombre is for real. He's pulling away with every stride. Grand Ombre by 3 by 4. Grand Ombre perfect in 4 starts. Grand Ombre under a hand run at the end, winning by 4.
Grand Ombre actually won by 5 1/4 under Joe Bravo. Tockett was 5th. Dynamo was 6th. Because of that, the $1 Superfecta, Grand Ombre, Gimme a Wink, Ashmore, and Christina's Outlaw, $1 bet, $38,661. No buyer speed figure because the race was run yesterday, but it's got to be a good one. Grand Ombre is now 4 for 4 lifetime. And here is Dynamo as he stumbles a bit at the start, maybe gets pinched back, but that really wasn't the main excuse for him. It was the footing, I would say, that had more to do with his 6th place performance than anything else. If you think back, the earlier race in his career that was bad was the Belmont Stakes in similar conditions. Grand Ombre drawing away in the stretch, trained by Dennis Manning, who won the King's Bishop last weekend, another Grade 1 race, or that was a Grade 1 at Saratoga. And that is all for Wire to Wire this week. We leave you with another shot of Aldebaran pulling away to win Sunday's 4-Go handicap at Saratoga. See you next week.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.